A misunderstood teenager is the subject of a local author's newest novel. It's called You, and it's already won national acclaim. Charles Benoit joins us this morning to talk about You and his career as an author. Thanks for being with us, Charles.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I was introduced to you several years ago,
right.
About 6 years ago, when my landlady took me to see a speech that you made, or a presentation you made about your first book. It was
right.
kind of a travel log, if you will. You've written, this is now your third book. You is your third novel?
Fourth. It's actually my fourth.
Excuse me, fourth. But in this time, you deal with the teen realm, the teen years.
Right.
Is this your first time?
Yes, I had written mysteries that took average people and put them in exotic situations,
right.
in situations way over their head. And so I thought I'd go with the most exotic situation I can think of, high school, and take a unprepared person and put him in a situation way over his head. And
okay.
So that's the route that I went with the young adult book.
Okay, which is a difficult genre, a difficult age group to write for.
Very difficult.
Because they've got so many other things competing for their attention, and a book is sometimes the hardest thing to get in their hands. Okay, but let's talk about the topic
Sure.
here, the subject of the book. Kyle, his name is Kyle, and you become aware of what Kyle's life is like through the choices he makes. Can you tell us a little bit more about Kyle as a character without giving away too much?
That's all right. Well, the book is written in second person, so it's unusual. So it's you walk in the room. You have friends doing these things. You make choices. Kyle doesn't make so many bad choices as he doesn't make any choices. One of the things I find very difficult when I work with young adults and my nephews and my friends, that they don't make choices. They're letting life go right by them, and they're letting others take control of their life. And I always like to remind them that if you don't make an active choice, someone will make the choices for you and take you down whatever road they have planned for you. So as you read the book, you are Kyle. You are making or not making the choices, and readers have it's frustrating for readers because they know, wow, that's not the route I would go. Wait, I want to do this. No, that's wrong. And yet I take them down the path they don't want to go, and this downward spiral that just keeps dragging them down. Okay,
it's an awfully dark topic for a teen, a young adult book, though, isn't it?
It is. It does deal with, it's a very gritty and real book because the reality is the teen years can be dark and gritty,
sure.
and they seemed easy for us because we look back at them. Well, we survived them. We know how the story ends.
Sure.
But when we were in the middle of it, that was our world, and it was very tough, and it was dark, and it was scary, and yeah, it did matter what people thought of you. It did matter if your clothes fit in. It did matter if you felt lost,
okay.
and those things were very important.
Okay, so who is this book appropriate for?
Well, I definitely wrote it for young male readers who are reluctant readers who can't find a book they want to pick up. I would have to say maybe 7th, 8th grade, but definitely male, female readers for it, but it's a 7th, 8th grade read. I went out of my way to make sure I didn't include any major four-letter words and any compromising situations. Sort of wrote that as a writing challenge. Can I write a realistic teen dialogue without using the words that teens seem to know rather well?
Yeah, they are masters of the vocabulary, if you will. So again, what inspired you? And again, you talk about your nephews and young adults that you've talked to. What else inspired your desire to write a book like this? I mean, think about it. You're a guy who's traveled the world. You're a war vet. Right?
No, I'm an Army vet.
Army vet, excuse me. So you were in the military.
Right.
What inspired you to write this?
Well, I had written, as I said, I had written mysteries, but when you write that kind of book, you get to the end of it, there's really no questions left for anybody to discuss. I would ask people, hey, did you read my book? And they, oh, I loved it. Any questions? No, you wrapped it up pretty nice.
I see.
I kind of wanted a book where people got to the end and said, I need to talk about this.
Okay.
There's some questions you raise. I wrote young adult just as an experiment to see if I could do it, and it turned out to be a lot harder than I thought.
It's harder than you thought, but apparently it's won rave reviews, including including New York Times bestselling author Michael Grant saying Charles Benoit has written a shattering, gut-wrenching novel that puts you right into the center of the story. Pick it up and you won't put it down. For a local author, for an author from Rochester, New York, that is great to hear someone from on the national level say that about your writing.
I like hearing him say that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very humbling. If I had known the quality of the writing that was going on in the young adult world, I honestly hadn't read a lot of it.
It's an often neglected group of readers.
The writing is so good that it kind of would have scared me away.
Yeah.
I'm very honored that I've managed to hit it.
What's next?
Yet another young adult book. This one again is going to deal with, I guess you would say, a young adult caper novel. It's a romantic comedy caper novel.
Cool. All
In
right.
the young adult world.
Well, the bug has bitten Charles, and he will continue to produce. That's a good thing for young adults everywhere, and maybe some adults too, who like
Right.
to read young adult stuff. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you for
being
having
with
me.
us. All right. Coming up.